is Jill Jensen. Evaluating Jill will be John Green. John, can you give us Jill's objectives for today?
I will, thank you. Today Jill will be doing her icebreaker speech. And she has two objectives today. Number one, to begin speaking before an audience. And number two, for her to discover her speaking skills that she already has and skills that need some attention. Time, 4 to 6 minutes.
Between raising her 11-year-old son, pursuing a graphic design degree, and working at her family's business, Jensen Precast, Jill is a very busy woman. A very busy woman, Jill Jensen. Jill Jensen, a very busy woman.
Well, this May, I was taking a photography class. It was towards the end of the semester, and I was sent on an assignment to Gold Hill, Nevada to do a photo shoot. So I had never been to Gold Hill, Nevada, and for those of you who don't know, I drove up to Virginia City with my son and my husband, and it's just past Virginia City, just a few miles past Virginia City, and it's an old mining town. And we got there, and I saw an old mine that looked like I could take some photos of. And this thing was beat down, totally beat up. I don't even know how it was standing. And it had a big barbed wire fence around it. And it had these big signs that said, "Warning, danger, keep out." So of course we got out of the car, and there had been a hole in the, the barbed wire fence where people would just go in. And there was tons of graffiti on this thing. So my husband and son proceeded to just head right in. Why not? And they went right up in there, and and someone had put a board to the second floor. This had about 3 levels on it. And they just went right up that board. And I said, "Now wait, I don't think you're supposed to be up there. This is dangerous." And I was very nervous, but I was taking pictures. And they got up there, and on the second level, about every other board was there. And so they're up there hopping around on these boards, and even I went outside, and there was a big opening in the building, and they were up just standing right out the opening of the building waving, and I have pictures of them. Well, going back, I turned in the assignment to my teacher, digital photography, and it was great. A couple of the things I wanted to tell you about myself other than digital photography is I'm going to school for graphic design up at Truckee Meadows Community College. And my graphic design teacher had actually recommended that I take digital photography. He said that digital photography and graphic design are almost married. He goes, "You have to understand digital photography to understand graphic design." You rarely see any design these days that doesn't have some sort of photography in it. So I had taken the photography class, really enjoyed the class. In my graphic design class, some of the things I'm learning are things like Photoshop. Maybe some of you have heard of that. That's photo manipulation. I'm learning a program called Adobe Illustrator, which is basically drawing. It's an illustration program. Drawing on the computer is how it is. And then we learned last semester we learned another program called InDesign. And InDesign is like a layout, like to do newsletters or, PowerPoint presentations, that sort of thing. So that was very interesting. But other than going to school for graphic design, I'm only taking about 2 classes a semester because I work at Jensen Precast. And I've done many different jobs at Jensen Precast, but the very main job that I've been doing for quite a while now is I'm the personal assistant for my dad and secretary. So when he goes on trips and travels, then I book his airline tickets and hotels, rental cars. I also make sure that all of his bills are paid and get all that done. And I also run numerous errands for him all over town doing things. So I'm sort of in and out of the office quite a bit. And when you take into consideration my couple of classes I take a semester, it's kind of hit or miss whether you see me in my office or not. It just depends. So I also, as I had mentioned earlier, I have a son who's 11 years old. He's here today. His name is Noah. And my and they had them very quickly. So Eric was the first, immediately followed by Kurt, immediately followed by Jill, myself. And then when my parents divorced in about 1980, my dad got remarried, and we also have a half-sister, and she lives in Las Vegas. Her name is Megan. And she also works for the company business. So we have several sites throughout the western United States, but she works in our Las Vegas office as the sales manager right now. She graduated from UNLV. And another thing is I am a native Nevadan. So I'm from Reno, from Nevada. Both of my parents were born and raised here, went to Reno High. And my grandfather was born here. His parents were immigrants who came in from Denmark. So my great-grandparents were the first ones to come here to this area, and like I said, they were immigrants. So just a little bit of information about me, and maybe now you guys know why I'm so busy, and when you add Toastmasters on top of it, the title was appropriate. Very busy woman, so thank you.
Mr. Timer, how did our two speakers do with their timing today?
Virginia's speech was targeted for 7 to 9 minutes.